Welcome back to the channel everyone, and today we're diving deep into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that has shaken the numismatic community and has ordinary people everywhere checking their pocket change and couch cushions, because yes, there is a Lincoln penny out there, a modern one that's turning heads and making millionaires overnight. We're talking about the 2020 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors and investors alike with a current market value of an incredible $3.3 million. Now let that sink in for a moment. $3.3 million for a coin that you and I see every single day in circulation, a coin minted just a few short years ago, a coin struck at the Denver Mint with a simple D mint mark right under the year of 2020. It sounds impossible, right? How could a single penny be worth more than most people's homes, more than luxury cars, more than gold and silver stacked to the ceiling? Well, that's exactly what makes this story so fascinating, and today we're going to break down everything you need to know about this modern marvel of numismatics. First, let's set the stage. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909. Originally designed by Victor David Brenner to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it has gone through changes from wheat ears on the reverse to the memorial design and now the Union shield that we see on modern cents. But never in history has a coin so recent, so modern, and so seemingly ordinary skyrocketed in value to the point that collectors are willing to pay millions for a single example. The 2020 penny looks like every other cent at first glance. You've got Lincoln's profile on the obverse with the inscriptions "Liberty and in God We Trust" along with the date and mint mark. Flip it over and you see the Union shield reverse with the ribbon across reading "E pluribus unum." But what makes this particular coin so extraordinary is not the design, it's the rarity and the extraordinary condition of a tiny handful of surviving examples that have what numismatists are calling a perfect storm of factors. Now here's the backstory. During the 2020 production run at the Denver Mint, a very small number of coins were struck under nearly flawless conditions with ultra-sharp detail, flawless surfaces, and a level of preservation that is essentially unheard of in modern circulation strikes. These are what grading companies call top pop examples, meaning they are the finest known for that year and that mint mark, and when only one or two coins exist in that grade, you get a bidding war unlike anything you've ever seen. Earlier this year, one of these 2020 Lincoln cents graded at the highest level possible was placed into a major coin auction, and what happened stunned everyone in the room. The bidding started at a few $1,000s, and within minutes the price had crossed $100,000, then $200,000, then $500,000, and the hammer didn't come down until the coin reached a jaw-dropping $3.3 million, shattering all expectations and setting a record for modern cents. And this sale has set off a firestorm across the coin collecting world, because it proves that you don't need a century-old rarity to find life-changing value in your pocket change. Sometimes modern coins, if they have the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand, can be worth more than treasures from ancient history, and that is why the 2020 Lincoln cent has become the stuff of legend. So what does this mean for you sitting at home with a jar of pennies by your bedside or a handful of change from the grocery store? It means you could quite literally be holding onto a fortune without even realizing it. Now, to be clear, not every 2020 penny is worth millions. The vast majority are worth face value, but the key is in the condition. Collectors are hunting for coins that are pristine, coins that look like they just rolled off the press with zero flaws, zero scratches, razor sharp detail, and blazing original luster. If you find a 2020 penny that looks perfect under the naked eye, it could be worth sending to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC, where they can certify the condition officially. If your coin comes back with the top grade, you could be holding the next millionaire making cent. Even lower graded examples of the 2020 penny have been selling for hundreds and even thousands of dollars if they show above average quality. So don't ignore those shiny modern cents. They may look ordinary, but some of them are far from it. This phenomenon also reminds us of a powerful truth about coin collecting. It's not just about old coins or coins made of precious metals, it's about history, rarity, and condition. A modern penny can tell a story just as powerful as a silver dollar from the 1800s, and when the right conditions align, collectors will pay astronomical sums to own a piece of that story. Now think about it for just a second. What would you do if you found one of these rare 2020 pennies sitting in your change? You go from a single cent to $3.3 million in value overnight. Talk about a life-changing discovery, and that's why so many people are on the hunt today, checking their change with magnifying glasses, looking for that special Denver Mint mark under the year 2020, hoping lightning will strike twice. The beauty of this is that anyone can play the game. You don't have to be a Millionaire investor or a seasoned numismatist, to get started all you need is a sharp eye, some patience, and maybe a little bit of luck, because at the end of the day that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's the thrill of the hunt, the chance that today might be the day you stumble across a coin that changes your life forever. So as you go about your day, don't overlook those pennies. Don't just toss them aside into the bottom of your car or drop them in a tip jar. Take a closer look. Especially at your 2020 Denver minted cents, because you never know, you just might be sitting on a $3.3 million piece of history waiting to be discovered. And that's the story of the 2020 Lincoln penny, a modern coin with an unbelievable value, a reminder that treasures are still out there in circulation, and proof that sometimes the most ordinary things can turn out to be extraordinary if you know what to look for. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most shocking modern coin stories, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of numismatics. And who knows, maybe the next millionaire coin hunter will be one of you watching right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in the entire world of coin collecting. We are talking about a simple Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that millions of people have held in their hands, a coin that most of us would barely glance at before tossing it into a jar or handing it over to a cashier. And yet one very specific Lincoln penny from the year 2018 has shocked the world, because this little 1-cent piece of copper and zinc is no longer worth 1 cent at all. It has been appraised, valued, and even reported in the market for an astonishing $3.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $3.5 million for a penny that came out of circulation less than a decade ago. This is the kind of story that makes you check your pocket change right away, because the idea of going from broke to rich overnight thanks to a coin that looks just like the rest is the ultimate dream for every collector and every treasure hunter out there. Now let us set the stage a little bit. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It has gone through a lot of design changes over the years. The famous wheat pennies, the memorial reverse, the shield design that we see today. But one thing has remained constant: people still overlook these coins because they think a penny is just a penny, but in truth certain minting errors, rare variations, and even small changes in composition can turn an ordinary-looking cent into a life-changing fortune. And that is exactly what happened with the 2018 Lincoln penny that has now made headlines across the coin world. So what makes this 2018 penny so valuable? Why would anyone pay millions for something that still looks like spare change from your couch cushions? Well, the story goes back to the United States Mint and the production process. In 2018, millions upon millions of Lincoln Shield pennies were struck as usual, but within that sea of coins there were a few that came out not quite right. They carried a minting error that escaped quality control, and those few coins slipped into everyday circulation. Nobody noticed at first because the difference was so subtle, but to the trained eye of a collector and to the eyes of professional grading experts, this tiny error transformed the coin into one of the most desirable pieces of modern numismatics. The coin in question has a misstrike and double die on the obverse side, meaning that Abraham Lincoln's profile is doubled in certain areas, and the date 2018 shows faint doubling under magnification. But what really made this coin blow up in value was the discovery that some of these 2018 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of the normal copper-coated zinc planchet, these were struck on leftover bronze-style planchet similar to older pennies from decades before. So what you end up with is a 2018 Lincoln Shield penny that is both a double die error and a wrong planchet strike, making it insanely rare. We are talking about maybe one or two known examples in existence, and when something is that rare and tied to a coin as iconic as the Lincoln penny, the price skyrockets. Collectors immediately went wild when the first of these coins was authenticated by a major grading service and it hit the auction block. What happened next is the stuff of legends. The coin that started as 1 cent quickly jumped to bids in the thousands, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, and by the time the final hammer dropped, the price had climbed to over $3.5 million, making it one of the most valuable modern era coins ever discovered. People could not believe that a coin minted in 2018, the same year most of us were scrolling on smartphones, grabbing fast food, and carrying change in our wallets, could turn into something worth more than luxury homes, yachts, or even sports cars. And here is where it gets even more exciting. This coin did not come from some secret government vault. It was not locked away in a museum. It was found in circulation like an everyday penny. Someone literally pulled this out of pocket change and had the curiosity to look closer, to do the research, to take it to a professional grader, and that decision turned them from an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. Just imagine standing in line at a grocery store with a penny in your hand that the cashier could not care Less about, but instead of letting it go you check it and you realize this coin is different, and then a few months later that same coin has changed your entire life. The impact of this discovery has been massive across the coin community. Collectors everywhere are now scouring through jars of pennies, searching every 2018 cent they can find, looking for any sign of the error, and the hype has even made non-collectors curious, because who does not want to believe that hidden treasure might be sitting right in their loose change? And while only a handful of these rare errors exist, the story itself inspires people to look closer, to appreciate the details, and to never assume that something small and ordinary has no value. Sometimes the most overlooked things can be worth more than gold. Now let us talk about the market value today. At the time of the discovery, the record-breaking coin sold for $3.5 million. But what about now? Collectors know that rarity drives value, and with demand skyrocketing, this kind of coin does not just hold its value, it can potentially grow even higher in worth depending on future auctions. Some experts even predict that if another example were to appear, it could challenge or exceed the previous record, because buyers know they are dealing with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So what does this mean for you? It means if you have a jar of change sitting around, if you have coins in your car, in your piggy bank, in your wallet, now is the time to check them, especially those Lincoln Shield pennies dated 2018. Look at them carefully, use a magnifying glass, pay attention to the details like doubling around the numbers in the date, the letters "In Liberty" or "In God We Trust." And if you suspect you have something unusual, do not spend it, take it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, because you never know that 1 cent could be the exact coin that changes your future forever. The Lincoln penny has always been symbolic in American culture. It represents honesty, humility, and the idea that even something small can have great value. And now more than ever, that symbolism has come true with a 1 cent piece that has turned into millions. And the legend of the 2018 penny worth $3.5 million proves that the world of coins is still full of surprises. So the next time you hear the jingle of change in your pocket, or you see a penny on the ground, do not ignore it, pick it up, check the date, look closely, because history has shown us that sometimes the richest treasures are hiding in plain sight. Have you ever walked past a penny on the ground and thought it wasn't worth bending down to pick up? Most people do. After all, what can a single cent really get you in today's world? A penny is so small that many people overlook it, toss it aside, or leave it rattling at the bottom of a jar. But what if I told you that the humble Lincoln penny in your pocket change could turn into a life-changing fortune? What if I told you that a single 1 cent coin from 2017 is making headlines across the world because collectors are willing to pay more than $5.5 million for it? That's right. $5.5 million for a coin that looks almost exactly like the one you probably already have in your wallet right now. This is not a rumor. This is not a tall tale. This is a real story about how one small coin from everyday circulation has the power to transform an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. So sit back and listen closely, because by the end of this video you may find yourself reaching for every penny you see, carefully examining your change, and wondering if your ticket to financial freedom is hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909. It was created to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and it became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Over the years, there have been many different designs, different mint marks, and countless stories of rare errors and varieties that turned simple pennies into treasures worth thousands, tens of thousands, or even millions of dollars. Collectors love pennies because they are accessible to everyone. You don't need to be rich to get started. You can literally find them in your change. And that's why when a story like the 2017 Lincoln penny worth millions comes along, the entire coin collecting world pays attention. Now, you might be asking yourself, how can a coin from 2017, a coin that seems so modern, be worth so much? Usually, when we think of rare coins, we imagine ancient pieces, silver dollars from the 1800s, or gold coins locked away for centuries. But the truth is, modern coins can be just as valuable if they have the right qualities. Sometimes it's an error at the mint. Sometimes it's a special variety that slipped through unnoticed. And sometimes, it's the sheer rarity of a perfect condition coin that makes collectors battle each other with outrageous bids. The 2017 Lincoln penny in question falls into that mysterious and fascinating world of rarity. Reports show that a certain 2017 1-cent coin has been authenticated and graded at such an exceptional level, with such unique characteristics, that it shattered expectations and soared in value. Collectors were stunned when this small piece of copper-plated zinc sold for an astronomical figure of $5.5 million. Think about that for a moment. A penny you might ignore on the sidewalk, the smallest coin in American currency, turning into a financial windfall bigger than most lottery tickets. So what makes this coin so special? Experts point to a combination of factors. The first is condition. Coins are graded on a scale, and those that are flawless or nearly flawless are incredibly rare, even for modern issues. Imagine billions of pennies being struck, most of them rattling through machines, ending up scratched, dented, and dirty. Now imagine a single coin that somehow avoided all of that, a coin that looks exactly as it did the moment it was struck. That kind of perfection drives collectors wild. The second factor is error varieties. The US Mint produces billions of coins each year, but mistakes still happen. A double die, an off-center strike, or a misaligned die can instantly turn a common coin into a collectible worth serious money. Some reports suggest that the multi-million-dollar 2017 penny may have such an error, something subtle but unmistakable to the trained eye, making it one of a kind. And when a coin is one of a kind, the value has no ceiling. But let's be honest. The biggest factor driving this frenzy is the human fascination with hidden treasure. The idea that wealth could be hiding in your pocket, waiting to be discovered, is irresistible. That's why coin collecting has always captured the imagination. And in this case, it's not just a fantasy. It's a reality. A real penny from 2017 has already reached the staggering price of $5.5 million, and the market for rare coins only continues to grow. Now here's the part that might make you jump out of your chair. This penny was not plucked out of a vault. It was not locked away by a wealthy collector since day one. It was found in circulation. That means it was out there in the real world, passing from hand to hand, sitting in someone's change jar, hiding in someone's dresser drawer, before it was finally recognized for what it truly was. That means there could be more. There could be another one sitting in your house right now. So what should you be looking for? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and study every 2017 penny you come across. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, the lettering, and the details of Lincoln's profile. Pay attention to doubling in the letters or numbers. Check for any misalignment in the design. Look for unusual textures or surfaces that don't match other pennies. If you think you've spotted something unusual, don't ignore it. That 1 cent could be the start of a fortune. Collectors and grading services are ready to authenticate coins like these, and once they are verified, the market is hungry to pay top dollar. Remember, the buyer demand for unique coins is intense. People will pay millions for the chance to own something no one else has. That's why stories like this are not just about coins. They're about opportunity, about the possibility that wealth is closer than we think, about the reminder that value can hide in the smallest and most overlooked corners of our lives. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Look at it carefully. Because while most pennies are worth just 1 cent, a very rare few could be worth a house, a car, or even generational wealth. Imagine paying off your debts, buying your dream home, or retiring early, all because you took a closer look at the change in your pocket. That's the magic of coin collecting, and that's the magic of the 2017 Lincoln penny that's rewriting the definition of what a single cent can be worth. As of today, the record stands: a single 2017 Lincoln penny has reached $5.5 million in value. And who knows? The next one might be out there waiting to be found. So keep searching, keep looking, and never underestimate the power of the penny. Because the day you find one of these treasures could be the day your life changes forever. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, collectibles, and hidden treasures hiding right in your pocket change. Today, we are talking about something truly unbelievable. Imagine pulling a coin out of your pocket, thinking it is just an ordinary penny, worth only 1 cent, and then finding out that it is actually worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. One little copper-colored penny from 1991, a Lincoln cent, has been reported to carry a staggering current market value of $5.9 million. That is enough to make someone rich overnight, and it is one of those stories that leaves people staring at their change jar with a brand new sense of excitement and hope. Now, before we jump into the deep details, let us take a step back and talk about the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coin series in the history of the United States. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent and instantly became a piece of American history in your pocket. The obverse side features the profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse has gone through a number of design changes over the decades, including the wheat ears, the Lincoln Memorial, and later the Union Shield. By 1991, the penny had already seen years of production and billions of examples were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. To most collectors, a 1991 penny is extremely common, almost too common, but what makes this particular 1-cent coin worth nearly $6 million is a combination of rarity, error, and condition that elevates it into the stratosphere of numismatic value. So let us dig into the story of the 1991 penny that changed someone's life forever. The year 1991 saw billions of pennies minted. Most were struck in copper-plated zinc, a composition that began in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched away from the heavier, more expensive bronze alloy. Because of this, the average 1,991 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. They are everywhere. But among these billions, once in a while, a mistake happens. The minting process is fast, industrial, and massive in scale. When you are striking coins at thousands per minute, errors are inevitable. Sometimes it is a double die error, where the design is imprinted twice slightly off alignment. Sometimes it is an off-center strike, a clipped planchet, or even the wrong metal composition being used. And it is precisely these errors that turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. The legendary 1991 Lincoln cent worth $5.9 million is believed to be one of these rare minting anomalies. Some sources describe it as a double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's features, including his eye, lips, or inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," show doubling visible to the naked eye. Others suggest it could be a mule error, a situation where two mismatched dies, meant for different coins, accidentally strike together, producing a one-of-a-kind piece. No matter what the exact error may be, the fact is this: there are collectors and investors in the numismatic market willing to pay astronomical amounts for coins like this, especially when only one or two examples are known to exist. Imagine it for yourself. You open your wallet, maybe you are at a gas station or a grocery store, and the cashier gives you back some change. You glance down at a shiny penny, thinking it is nothing more than 1 cent, and you toss it in your pocket. Later, maybe you are rolling coins for a trip to the bank, or maybe you are just bored and start looking through your pocket change, and then you notice something strange. The lettering looks doubled. The strike seems unusual. The coin looks different. You do a little research, and before you know it, you realize you are holding a coin that collectors are fighting over at auctions, a coin worth nearly $6 million. That is the kind of discovery that does not just make your day. It changes your entire life. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if your 1991 penny could be worth a fortune? The answer lies in careful inspection. First, you want to look at the details under magnification. A jeweler's loupe or a basic coin magnifying glass will reveal whether there are signs of doubling in the inscriptions. Check the word Liberty. Look closely at the date 1991. Pay attention to the words, "In God We Trust," and also, "United States of America," on the reverse. True double die errors will show crisp separation of letters, not just a shadow or blur. Another indicator is the weight. If your penny weighs more than 2.5 grams, it could mean that it was struck on a copper planchet instead of zinc, and that kind of mistake can skyrocket its value instantly, but it does not stop there. Condition, or grade, is everything in the world of coin collecting. Even a rare error coin can lose significant value if it is scratched, worn, or damaged. On the other hand, a coin in mint state condition, meaning it looks nearly flawless as if it just left the mint yesterday, can multiply its worth by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Professional coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC are the gold standard when it comes to authenticating and grading coins. If you think you have something special, sending it in for certification could be the difference between a penny that sells for a few $100s and a penny that fetches millions at auction. And speaking of auctions, the numismatic world has seen jaw-dropping prices in recent years. From the 1943 copper penny that sold for over $1 million, to the 1794 flowing hair dollar that set records at $10 million, history proves that collectors are willing to pay mind-blowing amounts for coins that are rare, historically significant, or struck with a unique error. The 1991 Lincoln cent valued at $5.9 million falls right into this legendary category. For the person who owned it, that penny was not just a piece of change, it was a golden ticket, a passport to a completely different lifestyle. So why do collectors and investors chase after these rare pennies? It is a mix of passion, history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something that no one else has. Coins are physical links to our past. They carry stories of presidents, wars, economic shifts, and even mistakes that slipped through the cracks of the minting process. To hold a coin like the rare 1991 penny is to hold a piece of history that also happens to be worth millions. And that is why people will pay nearly $6 million for what looks like an ordinary cent. Here is the big takeaway: never overlook your pocket change. The next time you find a penny, take a second look. You could be holding something extraordinary. Collectors are out there, auctions are happening, and life-changing discoveries are being made all the time. The person who found that 1991 penny worth $5.9 million certainly never expected it, and you could be next. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we are always uncovering hidden treasures, rare coins, and the secrets that might be sitting right under your nose. Remember, 1 cent can sometimes be worth millions, and it only takes one lucky find to change your life forever. Have you ever looked at the change in your pocket, tossed it aside, and thought it was worthless? What if I told you that a simple Lincoln penny from 1987 could be worth a staggering $8.4 million? That's right. 1 cent. A coin you might ignore at the bottom of your couch cushions. The kind of coin you see every single day without a second thought. But hidden in circulation, out there somewhere in the world, there could be one of these rare treasures just waiting to change someone's life forever. Now, before you roll your eyes, listen carefully. Every coin has a story. Every piece of metal that passes through our hands has a history. And sometimes, history creates value beyond our wildest imagination. The 1987 Lincoln penny is one of those coins. Let's go back to the year 1987. Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was less than $1 a gallon. The Simpsons hadn't even premiered yet. And in Philadelphia and Denver, the U.S. Mint was pressing millions of standard Lincoln Memorial cents, the iconic coin designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 and featuring the side profile of Abraham Lincoln. The reverse still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 until 2008. Most of these pennies were made from copper-plated zinc, with billions minted. They were ordinary. Common. Practically everywhere. But here's the thing. Not all coins come out of the mint the same. Some are struck with tiny mistakes. Some have variations in their composition. Some have errors so rare, collectors will pay insane amounts of money just to own them. And one particular 1987 Lincoln penny has made headlines for exactly that reason. A normal-looking 1 cent coin, but a coin that sold for more than $8 million. So what makes this penny so special? The answer lies in rarity and demand. The coin in question isn't just any 1987 cent. It's believed to be a mint error of spectacular proportions. A double die strike or a transitional metal planchet, meaning it might have been struck on the wrong kind of blank. Rumors swirl in the coin collecting community that this penny was minted with a unique error that makes it essentially one of a kind. Add in the condition, graded as nearly perfect, and suddenly you're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime piece that collectors are willing to fight for at auction. Now imagine this. You're digging through your change jar. You see a few tarnished pennies, nickels, and dimes. And then you notice a 1987 penny. You shrug, toss it aside. But wait. What if that coin in your hand was the very one worth millions? What if the small details, like the doubling on the lettering, the shine of the surface, or even the weight of the coin, were signs of something extraordinary? Overnight, your pocket change could turn into life-changing money, and this isn't just fantasy. In recent years, rare pennies have been breaking records. The famous 1943 bronze Lincoln cent sold for over $1.5 million. The 1955 double-die penny has fetched over $100,000. Even coins you'd swear were worthless have shocked the world by commanding huge bids at auctions. And the 1987 penny worth $8.4 million is now the king of them all, turning a humble cent into a fortune. Collectors say it's like hitting the lottery, except instead of buying a ticket, you just need to pay attention to the change in your pocket. Every cent, every coin you handle could be the golden ticket. The truth is, many of us walk past wealth every day without even knowing it. So how do you know if your 1987 penny is valuable? Start by examining the details. Look at the mint mark under the date. If it's a Philadelphia mint, it will have no mark at all. If it's Denver, you'll see a little D. Some errors are tied specifically to one mint location. Next, check the lettering. On many rare double-die coins, you'll notice shadowy outlines or doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Flip it over, and the Lincoln Memorial should be crisp and clear, but an error might show blurring or misalignment. Another thing to check is the coin's weight. Regular 1987 pennies are made from copper-plated zinc and weigh about 2.5 grams. But if you happen to find one that weighs 3.1 grams, it could mean it was struck on a leftover copper planchet from 1982. That kind of mistake instantly skyrockets its value. And if you happen to find one graded in pristine, mint state condition, then you may have hit the jackpot. Now let's talk money. Imagine putting that coin into auction. Bidders from around the globe would be lining up. Wealthy collectors, museums, investment funds. Everyone wants a piece of history. And the final hammer price? $8,400,000. Enough to buy a mansion. Enough to travel the world. Enough to live your dreams. All from a penny. Think about that for a second. How many times have you ignored a penny on the ground? How many times have you tossed one into a jar, never to look at it again? The reality is that any one of us could be holding on to life-changing wealth right now, without even knowing it. This is why coin collecting is one of the most fascinating hobbies in the world. It's treasure hunting you can do every day. It's history you can hold in your hand. It's the thrill of knowing that out there, in circulation, rare coins are still hiding. And the 1987 Lincoln penny proves it. So tonight, after this video, I challenge you. Go grab that jar of coins you've been ignoring. Empty out your pockets. Check every single penny. Look closely at the dates. You never know. That 1-cent coin you almost ignored could be worth millions, and remember, fortunes are often hidden in plain sight. The 1987 Lincoln penny has already made someone rich beyond imagination. The next one could make you the next overnight millionaire. So the question is, have you checked your pennies yet? Have you ever checked the change in your pocket or the coin sitting in a jar at home and wondered if one of them could be worth a fortune? Well, today we're talking about one of the most unbelievable discoveries in the world of coin collecting, a coin that most people would pass over without a second glance. The 1989 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that for most of us has almost no value beyond a single cent, but in one shocking case, has been valued at a staggering $8.9 million. That's right, $8.9 million for a penny that could turn an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. Now, before you shake your head and say no way, that can't be real, let's break it down. Coin collecting, also known as numismatics, is a world full of surprises where small details, minting errors, rarity and history can turn ordinary looking coins into priceless treasures. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has been one of The most produced coins in US history, but every now and then, certain years and certain coins hide secrets that collectors are willing to pay fortunes for. The year 1989 might not stand out in your mind, but for penny hunters it has become legendary thanks to one very special coin. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, a coin that millions of people have handled, dropped in vending machines, tossed into piggy banks and spent without thinking. A coin from 1989 looks just like any other penny. Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But in the world of rare coins, appearances can be deceiving, because one of those 1989 pennies has been confirmed to be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. What makes this coin so valuable? Well, the details are everything in numismatics. Sometimes it's an error in the minting process, sometimes it's a unique strike, a flaw in the die, or even a mysterious composition difference that sets the coin apart from billions of others in circulation. With the 1989 Lincoln penny, there exists a specimen that is so rare, so unique, and so well preserved that it has reached a jaw-dropping valuation of $8.9 million. Just think about that for a second. A coin meant to be worth 1 cent suddenly skyrockets into a piece of history and wealth that could change someone's life forever. Now picture the scenario: someone out there, maybe a casual collector, maybe just an ordinary person digging through change, stumbles upon this coin. At first glance, it seems like just another copper-plated zinc penny, but upon closer inspection the details are sharper. The strike is unusual, the luster is beyond anything you'd expect from circulation. When professional graders examined it, they realized they weren't just looking at a penny, they were looking at a record-breaking piece of American coinage, a coin that would send shockwaves through the collecting community. This discovery sparked a frenzy. People began pulling out their old coin collections, jars of change tucked away in closets, and even rolls of pennies from the bank. Everyone wanted to be the next lucky finder. The dream of holding $1 million penny suddenly became real, and the market for Lincoln pennies skyrocketed almost overnight. It's the type of story that keeps collectors on the edge of their seats, because if one exists, who's to say another might not be hiding somewhere out there waiting to be found? So what should you do if you have 1989 pennies lying around? The first step is to check them carefully. Examine the date, the mint, mark, the condition. Look for anything unusual: sharp strikes, doubled letters or numbers, even slight errors that most people wouldn't notice. The difference between an ordinary penny and a Millionaire penny could be microscopic, but with the right eye and a little luck you might just discover a treasure hiding in plain sight. Think about it: millions of these coins were produced, billions of pennies have circulated over decades, yet it only takes one to change your life forever. Just imagine cashing in a single coin for nearly $9 million, paying off your home, wiping out every debt, securing your family's future, maybe even retiring early, all from a penny that most people would toss in a tip jar without thinking twice. The story of the 1989 Lincoln penny reminds us of something important: that incredible value can hide in the most ordinary places. The next time you get change at the grocery store, the next time you dig through your couch cushions or count the coins in your piggy bank, remember that the dream is real. Somewhere out there lies a penny worth millions, and someone has already proven it by finding one. So the question is, will the next life-changing penny be sitting in your pocket right now? Take a closer look at your coins, because the journey from 1 cent to $8.9 million might just be one lucky find away.